I've been spending some more seat time in the ProGen PR4, the fastest car in the game until the summer update where Rockstar introduced a new top dog, which we know by now is faster, the new Benefactor BR8. The ProGen PR4 was McLaren's flagship F1 car of the 1990s, as the new BR8 is a Mercedes hybrid from much more modern times. 2015 all the way up until this current year, 2020, it's been tweaked and modified, used by Red Bull. So again, at this point, we do know that it is a bit quicker, both in acceleration, top speed, and around the corners. So today, what we're gonna find out is, first of all, how we can customize it, how it looks, also how it sounds compared to the PR4, and most importantly, the driving experience. Competitively, going around a track, we know it has the edge and is slightly faster than the PR4, but what I want to know is how much more of a smile can this thing put on our face? Stick around and we're gonna find that out, plus a whole lot more. This is the new Benefactor BR8, the new flagship F1 car from Mercedes. Current times, 2015 up to 2020. It is a hybrid vehicle, so it has a electric motor combined with a conventional motor, gas motor. And just walking around here, we can see some carbon fiber inlays on the side. And the lines and angles on this thing, I've always compared the ProGen PR4 to the likes of a fighter plane, an F1 plane. And this thing is looking more alien, more like a spaceship. Will be interesting to see what kind of alien technology and wizardry this thing has with going around the corners. Really cool seeing all these fins on the front spoiler. All of these supporting struts going from the body to the wheels. Got the little side mirrors there, as well as some little antennas, if you guys can see that there. There we go, that's a perfect shot. Must be for the comms, talking to the pit crew. And right behind your head looks like a jet turbine, but what it actually is a cooling system for air to pass through and cool off all of the power in the back. And very interesting design on that rear spoiler. Some more support struts going to the rear wheels. Always love these brake lights on these F1 cars. Something about it is just really awesome. And you can really see the lines, very smooth, very aerodynamic. Very excited to customize this and see if that hood pops open, if we can get a look at the guts and the brains of this F1 car. So then, let's take this over to Los Santos Customs, see what we can do for customizations before we get it on the road and compare it to the PR4. This thing is long as well. Not the best turning radius coming out of here, but that's all right. Gonna be much more important to see the turning radius at high speeds.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
And this car's price tag is not for the faint of heart, coming in at $3.4 million, which is actually $100,000 cheaper than the PR4 was at $3.5 million. So you gotta pay to play in these open wheel monsters on the streets of Los Santos. But it is absolutely amazing how fast you can take corners on these, and it will blow your mind. There is nothing else in the game like it. So with that said, let's dive into spending some more money, starting with some brakes. Usually race brakes is the max, but on these open wheel cars, we're going for these super brakes.
You're good for snow, if you're into that.
Moving on to the front wings, which actually do change the the driving characteristics of the car, both the front wing and the rear spoiler. If you do maximum on the wings and the spoilers in the rear, you're going to get more traction but a little bit less top speed. Thanks to Bruffy 1322's testing, I would recommend checking out his video on the open wheel cars, where he's done a lot of in-depth testing. He has spreadsheets on all of the changes for the handling, the G-force around the turns, all that good stuff. So I am going to go somewhere in between with either the Circuit Attack or the Champion Front for somewhat of a better balance between the top speed and the handling. This would be the midpoint, but I do like the beefier Championship Front Wing. Take a look at the Legendary real quick. A lot of wind lines, arrow lines on that. We've seen this. We've seen the Circuit. Here's the medium front wing and the stock. So yeah, I think I will go with the Championship Wing. Engine level 4.
Oh, the power! The power!
See what we can do for the exhaust back here. Where is that? Tucked under there somewhere. Can't even see it. Can do titanium, aluminum, or carbon. I'm sure when we pop that rear hood we should see it. Let's go with the carbon tipped exhaust since this is so futuristic. Throw that on. Alright, this is always exciting on these F1 cars. Check out the livery options for this guy. Got 11 ones to choose from, starting with the Pisswasser. Classic German Pisswasser livery, which I do like a lot. It is very simple and clean. Moving on to the Estancia. Got the Rolex crown, little luxurious there, with the hard stand on that rear spoiler, number 15. Finest cigars on the side. Not a bad choice. Moving on to Atomic. This one is a bit more basic. Seems like we've seen this one a lot more. Going down to the maann. This is more of a 90s, a little bit more of a retro design. I've seen similar on the PR4 while customizing that one. Next up with the Quick Fix. Here we go. This definitely looks more modern. Could definitely see this flying around the track on TV on the current F1 cars nowadays. Next up with the Fix Up. Pretty basic yellow with those yellow streaks running down. Maann Western. Got the Fix Up on that rear engine cover. Some logos on the front nose. And E-Cola. Another very basic one. Got the red teardrops. Amigas Natural Fuels on that engine cover. Nice two-tone though. Look at that coming out of that rear air duct. And a few left going with the Sprunk. Not bad. I like the color of that blue. That Laguna blue reminds me of the BMW M3s. Got the Sprunk on top of that. Two more with the Redwood. Vintage classic Redwood cigarettes. Got the Globe Oil, Flint Tools. That little arrow in that circle at the very rear. And of course, can see it a little bit on the rear spoiler, the Redwood right on top of the spoiler. And last but not least is Cerveza Borracho. Look at that. Got the zebra monotone. I like that bull on the side of that spoiler too. Not a bad option. Not bad options in general. Pretty good job, Rockstar. I dig it. And for me, it was love at first sight, going back towards the top here with the Pisswasser. I love those yellow pinstripes. You're in for a good time. Right behind my head. Got the 64 right in front of the steering wheel. And very, very clean logo. That little crown there. You're in Pisswasser country. Yellow pinstripe right above that carbon fiber skirt. So we're going to throw that on. And let's take a look at the new BR8 in a few different colors. I do think this looks pretty prestigious in a frost white with that, looks almost gold now, the pinstripes and the lettering on the Pisswasser livery. Not a bad option, especially with that red crown logo. Looks pretty clean. Out of all of the blue colors, I do really like it in the nautical blue. You'll see when we swing around here, the lighting will light it up a bit more. And again, really good accent with the yellow lettering and pinstripes with the nautical blue. As for me, I'm going to go with more of a sinister and menacing look with the dark steel. I usually go for the stone silver on times like this, but I think the dark steel has a little bit less shine, a little bit more matte to it, and really like how it looks with those carbon fiber fins on the sides as we loop around to this side, and we'll see if we'll throw a pearlescent on there, and away we go. And yeah, gonna throw a cream on there for the pearlescent. Really like how that complements the yellow pinstripes and lettering once again. Really nice shine to it, bit more luxurious with that cream pearlescent. For the secondary color, I do not see anything that it changes. Not seeing anything on the brake calipers. Pretty sure it's going to be in the engine bay somewhere, so what we'll do is we'll throw on a yellow for now, see if we can find out what that changes once we pop that rear engine cover. And we do have a few options for the skirts, few options left here. It's, it won't let us loop around to that side. So we've got the stock skirt, which I like a lot. Can also do the stock rear intake scoop, I see, so that doesn't change the actual skirt, but it goes above it with the rear scoop. Can do a lightened aerodynamic body, which I do not like as it gets in the way of that beautiful logo on the side. Can do a racing body, which adds even more junk there, all up in there. Or last up, the extreme, which puts some shark fins closer to the front. And for me, it would be more minimalistic, either with the stock rear intake scoop or stock completely. And I've got to tell you, I really like the lines on that, how it comes down, swoops down towards the rear. So I am going to leave that as is. All right, this should be fun with some options for the rear spoiler. And again, the higher you go down the list, the lower you go, the more handling you'll get, but you will lose some top speed. Shout out to Bruffy1322 again for finding that out. Let's see the cutoff wing. Makes it a bit smaller. And again, just changes the lines of it. Moving down to the angular fin. Looks more like a shield on the cutout of that. And, ooh, look at that. The cutoff tail fin adds a shark fin up top. That is interesting. And the actual spoiler changes as well. Two options left with the racing tail fin. Still maintains that line up there. Just changes the sides of the spoiler. And last up with the extreme shark fin, which is the biggest side profile of that rear spoiler. And I do like the side profile better without that additional shark fin running along the top. So we will settle right dab in the middle, get a perfect balance for top speed and handling with the angular wing.
If that car was a woman, I'd guess her.
Transmission, yes please, with the race transmission.
You just dropped your 0 to 60 by 0.8 seconds.
And of course, we're gonna throw a racing turbo tuning on here as well.
Try not to take flight.
And last option left, only 15 options, but when you've got an F1 car with alien technology, you don't need too much tinkering. So let's check out the wheels on this and we will call it a day. All right, so we've got a race category of wheels. And we do lose the lettering, the atomic lettering on the side wall of those tires, but I'm sure we can get that back if we want to. And some decent designs. These are more old school 90s designs. Can't go wrong with the Super 5R striped or the Speedster. Speedster striped, GP90s. Yeah, there's some decent options in here. And I'm gonna go with the GP90 striped. I do think those look pretty clean. Pretty menacing fit for this build. For the wheel color, we're gonna go with a bronze, which changes the outer lip, which complements everything very nicely. And for the tires themselves, let's get a livery or some lettering back on there. Can get the atomic logo back on. Can also get a simple atomic in white, Fukaru in white. Got the red, yellow Chapal, which is definitely an option to go with the build we have. Can get that in green as well. This is tempting, but I think we have already a lot of yellow, so we'll clean it up with either the atomic or the Fukaru in white. And the Fukaru looks just a little bit more modern with the font of those letters, so we'll throw that on. And that is all 15 options for the new open wheel car, the new Benefactor BR8. Gotta say, I'm really loving this design. I'm loving this livery on here, loving the build. And what a reminder that we are living in the future of F1 racing, as this thing really looks like a spaceship compared to the slightly older PR4. Let's take it outside, see if we can pop that rear engine cover, check it out in some more detail, and then get her on the road and see how it performs compared to the PR4. Oh man, look at this. So we've got the old school with the PR4, and now we've got the new school with the new BR8. Really loving how that shine came out with that cream pearlescent on that dark steel, I believe it was. And this is rear wheel drive like the PR4, so we can do some victory donuts in these F1 cars. Very cool. Let's see if any of these compartments, the rear engine cover opens up on the vehicle. Vehicle doors. That is unfortunate. Looks like we cannot open anything on the new BR8. But we can go into first person and take a closer look at this rocket ship. Got that front spoiler, got the crown logo with the white X on the front too. I do like that. Got those beefy tires. Let's go on this side, get some better lighting. There's the strut supports. Got a green seatbelt on that little carbon fiber bucket seat. Got the race wheel, which we'll take a closer look at. Those little antennas, little shark fin right by that 64 on the front. Those fat air ducts on the side with those carbon fiber skirts. Going to the rear of the vehicle, got that brake light. So yeah, I am loving this design. And now it is time for the moment of truth to see if this thing outperforms the BR8 in every way, how it feels, and how much more of a smile it puts on our face. Switch to first person for this takeoff. Got the shift lights, which is always cool. All those buttons on this race steering wheel. And let's do this. 3, 2, 1. We are out of here. Oh man. That is some brutal acceleration. Let's hit the curves. Boost! Wow. Definitely feels faster acceleration-wise than the PR4. But acceleration is not everything. See how this thing handles the turns, how much more G-force this has. Can tell you instantly that the engine and the revs sound a lot more hyper, a lot more wild, which is definitely a good thing compared to the PR4. Handling-wise, I am not feeling too much of a difference, other than the fact that this actually feels a little bit more sluggish. It's not turning as sharply. It's not feeling as agile as the PR4. Let's really open it up on these next few turns here, since I am familiar with this part of town. Ooh, got some traffic coming through. Yeah, this is 100%. I can definitely feel it has a much more brutal acceleration, and should have a higher top speed a little bit as well, but that is not nearly as important as the acceleration. Coming through, around and around we go, and definitely I felt that turn there did feel a little bit less nimble than the PR4. Let's do a wiggle test. Yeah, it is not as nimble or as agile as the PR4, but it is definitely faster for the overall package, and the reason for that is going to be the much more brutal acceleration out of these corners, out of the hole, as they call it. So when you do hit the gas out of the turns, you are going to get through them quicker. So, should you guys buy the new BR8? Let's take a look at this beauty on the street. Absolutely stunning. Really love it. Feel like I'm in a real spaceship on this F1 car. And as for you guys, if you should drop $3.4 million before upgrades on this, I don't think so. For most people, if you have the PR4 especially, I am not as impressed with this as I was hoping to be, or was expecting to be. The only thing that really impresses me is the acceleration, as I keep mentioning, but the handling is actually a little bit worse. Doesn't feel as good, as responsive or quick as the PR4. So you're not going to be missing out on too much around these corners. But if you absolutely want the best and the fastest, this is going to be it. So if you do have the cash, you should think about it if you want the best. And if you do like the looks of the more modern F1 cars, this is 2015, 2018. The PR4 is the 1990s. But if you already have that, again, you're not going to be blown away by the driving experience of this new BR8. I'm not as blown away as I was hoping to be. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the new BR8, if you have one already. If not, if you're planning on picking one up, what you think of how it compares to the PR4 and other open-wheel cars in the game, both in looks-wise and performance. And also what you guys think of open-wheel cars, aka F1 cars, being added to the game for GTA Online. Personally, I am loving it, as this is no racing game. This is not a racing simulator. But driving these F1 cars around the living and breathing city of Los Santos is an experience and a thrill like none other, with the flow of traffic going in and out. Really, really exciting, and sometimes it actually puts butterflies in my stomach. That is going to do it for this video. As always, thanks for tuning in. Really enjoy these car reviews as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until the next time, you guys stay cool, keep on playing GTA, and enjoy the rest of the day. H2 signing out.